What's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Just Dad.
What's happening, y'all? As y'all can tell, we got ourselves a very special episode here situated for y'all, so we're gonna go ahead and get right on into it. So in the studio with us today, we got two-time, who used to say that? Two-time? Kaz?
Cass, yeah.
Kaz.
Yeah,
Two-time Super Bowl champion, Anthony Smith. What's going on with you, brother?
What's good, Kings? What's good?
Good, man.
Cool,
Pleasure to be
man.
here.
Glad to have you, man. I know we was trying to get this together for a little bit, but
Yes,
finally
sir.
you held your word. I appreciate that,
Finally
man.
made
Pop
it.
out here, man.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the city, man. Hope it's treating you all right.
Appreciate it. Yes, sir.
That's what's
Doing
going
great.
on. So we're gonna go ahead and get right into a little bit, your history, what's going on with you, what you're doing today, and all that kind of stuff, in the life. So as I mentioned, right, two-time Super Bowl champion, right? So go ahead and tell the folks a little bit about, your upbringing, where you from, where you ball at,
Sure.
up until, kind of today and whatnot.
So I'm originally from Youngstown, Ohio. It's about an hour from Cleveland. 3 hours, 2.5 hours, 3 hours from Columbus. From there, I went to Syracuse. My top schools is Ohio State, Syracuse, Notre Dame, Pittsburgh, and
Wait, so you know Mello?
West Virginia. Yeah.
That's your man. So you was there when he won.
Yeah, we came in freshman year.
Oh, that's what's
together.
up.
Fine.
Yeah.
So y'all eating
Crazy
bad
part
cafeteria
was,
food together. That's crazy.
When we was all the athletes met up in the little student center, whatever, we just all chopping it up and we asking them and stuff like that, man. We like, how long you gonna stay and stuff like that. He's like, man, I don't want it done, dog. And that boy Dan so went on.
That was a good one, man. Shout out to Mello, man.
For sure.
Big arms.
Shout out to Mello. Yep.
What made you choose Syracuse from Ohio State, being from Ohio?
Man, so like you said, being from Ohio, man, playing in that cold weather, you know how that get, them fingers get cold.
Syracuse ain't no better.
You left the cold to go to the cold. How far is Syracuse from Ohio? Like, I'm from where you grew up.
It's about 6 hours.
Okay.
About 6 hours. But the thing is, though, and the reason why I went to Syracuse over all the other ones, because they all outdoor. Syracuse got the dome.
Oh,
Okay, guys.
So I'm
big
like,
difference, yeah.
big difference. So I'm like, well, I can deal with about 4 or 5 games in the cold, 6 games in the cold, or 2 or 3 at the end of the season. We're going with this 2 or 3. I know I can perform better, you know what I'm saying, in warmer climates and stuff. So I like the dome. We ain't never got to worry about nothing, man. Let me get that.
So was your intention when you went to college to play ball? Was it to get to the league, or was you using football just to get an education?
No, it was to get to the league.
Okay.
Yeah, it was that first. You know what I mean? School was just one of them, do what you got to do what you want to do. You know what I mean? So I was just handling my business in school because that was the only way I would be able to play on the field.
Right.
That had to be done, and you know what I'm saying, it was a part of the process. So, I made that mandatory to give that the same effort as I was giving everything else.
Right.
You stayed at Syracuse for all 4 years, or?
Yeah, I stayed all 4.
You did.
That's
Yep.
good. That's what's up.
Yep.
You
Stayed
graduated then.
I actually, man, I didn't because, and the crazy part is, so I went my freshman year, sophomore, junior, and senior year. I went to summer school all 4 years. And then even my senior year, I went to Maymester and summer school just to finish. Because I know I had plans. I was like, bro, I'm finna go try to train to get done so I can get done with this stuff. So first semester, I get done with all of that. Now, mind you, we got 2 advisors. We got the school academic advisor, then we got the athletic football academic advisor. So we got 2. So as I'm in Chicago, I go to train. I get done with my first semester. I leave the second semester to go train. They call me about a weekend, like, got a little discrepancy. You need about, a little mix-up, you need about, like, it came out to be like 2 or 3 more classes, you know what I'm saying, to finish or whatever. I'm like, damn, how y'all screw that up? Yeah. 4 years, and here I am, summer school,
And
all
doing summer
4
work.
years, and then Maymester and summer school my senior year. How y'all fuck that up?
Yeah.
Excuse my language.
That's all good. It's a grown man show.
Okay, cool, we good. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm here now, so I just put that on the kind of the back burner and focused on what was at hand, and I was going to the league and all that other stuff. So I got to go back and finish and get it and stuff like that. But I ain't got too many credits.
You know, it was crazy. One of my good friends, he went to Syracuse, but left and went to Hampton, then went to the league. Also, he didn't graduate. Also, because of that, I guess they just wasn't keeping up with.
Yeah, and that's crazy. Like how they can get lost in that, like the transactions and the.
But the good thing is now, well, in his case it's different. He went to HBCU. I don't know if they do that for PWIs. They have this program where they'll pay for you to go back to finish. But that was for HBCUs. I would have to look into it and let you know about the PWIs.
I think so. I know they have programs that pay for us to go back to school to finish, but I'm just like, man.
Yeah.
At this point in my life,
I'm good.
Yeah, like I mean, I know what it's for, and I went to school for business management, so it'll definitely. I'm gonna go back and get it because it look good on the paper, but when we talking about the life stuff, I didn't reach to the point to where it's all about, as we know, who you know. So I've been up in, I didn't reach the top of the top. So I'm up in that circle. So it's all about phone calls and conversations at that point. So that paper looked good on my resume, but at the end of the day, I can make phone calls to.
I get it. I mean,
you have your own business, so I won't go back to school for this paper. But I'm already getting the paper without the paper. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And I mean, it all depends, like you said, what you're going to use it for, right? Like some people go in and get the degrees and then they doing work and it had nothing to do with what they went to school for in any kind of way. But I think it's also just being cognizant, like you have a choice. But like, if I need it, all right, great, I can. But if it's not beneficial, then time you can use your time otherwise. Right.
I think, in my opinion and college experience and stuff like that, I think college should only be for like doctors and lawyers and like that's it. Everybody else should be trade school.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't, like you just said, half of the people ain't even going to school for what you got your degree in.
I haven't seen Y squared in my life yet.
I don't care what X's do.
Nothing.
That's
no
it.
pie, none of that shit.
None of it. You know what I mean?
So it's like, why is they teaching us? Why is that even the curriculum to teach this? When
we understand the history of why schools.
I don't.
It's a workers' mill. Like they put you in there, they put you in a certain atmosphere, in a certain way that they put you in the condition you to work and be on doing this kind of things. When you get older, you work for those folks and whoever the powers are to be.
Yeah.
So this conditions you to be a certain kind of way. That's the time you eat, the time you go to sleep, the 8 hours, whatever. Like, because what is 40 hours a week really?
Yeah.
Like like I can't get this done in 32. Like let me chill, but. That's just kind of how it is, right? But real quick, get back to football career, right? So I'm a football fiend. That's my first sport love. So in high school, what positions did you play?
I played tailback and safety.
Right. Yeah. Because you had some great rushing yards in high school. But when you got to college, what prompted the change?
It was just so back then. The running backs were a little bigger. You know what I mean? Like the Eddie Georges, and I grew up with our guy. One of my best friends is Maurice Claret. You know what I'm saying? And that was Mr. Football, and that's who me and him got co-players of the year our senior year. So I was just like, Reese, look at that. Reese did me. He looked like and built like the prototypical running backs, and me, I'm kind of more on the smaller end. So I was just like, man, all right, do you want to be one of the one getting hit by these 11 headhunters over here, something 250 and all that, or one of the 11 hitting the one? I like, you know what, bro? I'm gangsta at this too. I'm going to be a safety. So I was like, I'm going to be a part of that 11 hitting that one. You know what I mean? So that's how I ultimately end up making my decision.
That's dope. So now you declare for the draft, right? Go do the combine, do all of that. What was it like when you get that call, like you got drafted?
It was cool, man. I was upstairs.
You was home?
Yeah, I was at the crib. I was upstairs in the room waiting on the call because I knew I was going to get drafted. Just didn't know where.
Because you kind of know before, right? With the agent and everything, you kind of like.
And based on the numbers and, you know what I'm saying, combine, I went to the Senior Bowl, you know what I'm saying, did good at the Senior Bowl, went to the combine, put up good numbers at the combine. And then, so you just wait on the call, man. And with that stuff, bro, it ain't all about even necessarily what you do. You know what I'm saying? It's about where do you necessarily fit at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And a lot of guys, because I'm like, number wise, you be like, you'll get mad seeing everybody, guys going in front of you who you put, I done been putting numbers up over him boy, for the last 4 years, bro. What y'all? So, but, you know, when you understand the business of it and you get in it and be like, okay, I see it ain't all about just this. It's more than
what they need.
It's who fits the whole big picture.
Basically, a puzzle with like looking for one piece. Like we need this piece only.
Yep.
Anything besides this piece, we ain't even looking for.
Yep.
In that moment in time, like when you looking to get drafted, like you see it on TV, but what goes in your mind in that moment in time? Are you thinking like all the hard work you put in is paying off? Or you think like I hit the lottery type of situation, or my life is about to change? Like what type of things go in your mind?
So as I'm sitting there watching the guys go and waiting to get my call, and then bang, I get my call. I'm like, from Bill Cowher called me, and I'm like, he's like, so they had 3 picks, first, second, third round. They first pick, they called me in the first round. They was like, we want to get you in the second round, but we're about to trade up our second pick to get San Antonio home. Mm-hmm. If you still there in the third round, when we get our second pick, we're going to pick you. So I'm like, all right, cool, boom, hang up. First round go, second round come through, I still ain't getting no call. And then they finna be back up on the clock. And I get the call. Bill, I'd like to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. Hang up. I know before, you know what I'm saying, my family, they all downstairs and chilling and shit.
So you just waiting, like just sitting there.
I'm just waiting for it to go across the ticker and stuff. Yeah. So then that moment happened, and then they all, go crazy and stuff downstairs. And it was just a good feeling to know, like, all right, now I got my spot. Now it's time to go see what you made of, bro. You know what I mean?
You get to Pittsburgh, right? You got Pittsburgh, football city, and they got some. You got the bus, you got Roethlisberger, you got Polamalu.
Yeah.
So what was it like being in like a locker room around like this kind of energy? How did it feel any different from what college felt like to now you've been in the locker room with these folks?
It's a different environment because now you're dealing with, you go from young men to grown men. You know what I mean? And it's a difference. I just had to exact. And it was cool because I was blessed into a situation with a bunch of OGs. You know what I'm saying? The Joey Porters, like you said, the Casey Hamptons, the Shea Townsends, the Troys, the Ikes, you know what I mean? Like all of my bros, Ryan, like all of the bros, Debo, who was there, they all OGs, and they just gave me the game early when I came in. Like, listen, don't even try to compete with the other guys, the older guys. They been here longer, bro, and they bags is bigger. Mm-hmm. So we ain't that type of team. We cool. Don't even worry about that. So I was like, cool. So as we moving around and doing everything, you just learn how to operate as a brotherhood. So we used to go everywhere, probably at least 15 deep, but we busting everything down. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, and then, it'd be times the OGs where they'd be like, man, young buck, put that in your pocket. We got that. You know what I'm saying? So that's the culture that that I was brought up in the league, and what I know, and everybody don't operate like that, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I played for 5 different teams, bro.
It's different.
They're all different, bro. Of course, they're all different, bro. And
which teams you play for?
So I was at Pittsburgh, Green Bay, St. Louis, Tennessee, and Jacksonville. You know what I'm saying? Pittsburgh was obviously, I spent the most time there, but it was my most favorite place. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because of the brotherhood that we got. That's the only. We got a text thread now, probably 15, 20 of us. You know what I mean? But that's the only team I got that with. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's the different. Like we that's how we roll, and you know what I mean? It was a real family and a brotherhood over there. So I was damn sure blessed to get caught in that situation.
How long ago did you retire?
2012.
So that's about 10,
11 years.
11. So that's right when you had your son.
Yep.
Right about the same
Right
time.
about the same time.
Or you had just something towards the end of your career.
At the end of my career.
You feel like that was like better at the end, or you wish like sooner, like time wise?
Man, I think it's a I don't know, bro. You know, I think it happened the way it did for a reason, and at the end, and I ain't mad at it. I wish he, but then like when I would have had to have him for him to be able to see that and understand it at that age, I would have had to have him like way earlier.
But then again,
in college or something like that.
Your career kind of, you know, cause that's why I asked, because at that point, being a father in the league, you know, actively in the league versus like towards the end is like you got more time, you know, to be there, kind of.
Exactly, and it gave, and it's a couple ways to look at it, because it would have, like you just said, that timing. You know what I mean, I got more time now to be able to spend with them and be able to raise them. And that's actually one of the reasons I walked away from the game, because I was pretty blessed, man. I didn't have any major injuries coming up through my career. So when I, my last year, well, my sophomore year in college, I caught a pick, came down on a dude's foot on his heel. So from that play on, my L4 and 5 been fusing together. So now my bones are fused together. So now I got a pinched nerve in my back that I've been dealing with pretty much and fighting through my whole career. So dealing with that, and then in 2011, my last year in Tennessee, I pulled my groin out the bone. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, all right. It's shit starting to happen to me that don't happen. So I was like, man, I was in my 6th year, about to go into my 7th. Like I got my pension, I done started everywhere, and these motherfuckers ain't paying me what I want. So I was like, I got a decision to make, bro. You can either hang on and just keep, you know what I'm saying, letting a penny pinch you, or have your health and be able to play with your kids and walk, you know what I'm saying, around at the end. So I was just like, I got 2 Super Bowls. I done started on every team I done been, had a good career. I like, bro, I'm cool with that. May not have got all the money I wanted, but cool, I can sacrifice that for my health and my well-being.
You can go out
for the long
you have
run.
opportunity to still go make money doing other things, but if you ain't got your health, you can't really buy that back. You know?
Absolutely, because I got homeboys now my same age, like that, like wide receivers and DBs and stuff, and the wide receivers, some of them, it's hard for them to walk up steps and, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that, man. So I was just like, let me go ahead and try to nip this in the bud.
Speaking of injuries, I know you seen what happened on Monday with your man's Aaron.
Man, I ain't see it. I just heard about it though. Today.
I called and text me and answer. You can call him up real quick. I want to see you can pick up. For me.
I ain't got his number. That's crazy.
I can't say I try your Aaron, man. I try to reach out. But holla at us, bro. See how you doing, man.
Yeah, I gotta holler at him.
Nah, he hit me. He good. He told me he won't be back till like next year, but he good.
Yeah, that's a crazy year for him. But now, so life after football. Let's talk about that, right? So I know you got a lot of things going on, right? You know, you got Battle of the Trenches, you coaching, you got the kids active in that, right? Very health conscious. So kind of tell us a little bit about, you know, what life after football is and kind of the thing that you got going on. And, you know, because our podcast is primarily based on, right, being dope men, dope black fathers, being dope dads, point blank period, right? And it's always about giving folks their flowers and uplifting those around us and being better for those that's going to come after us, right? And in doing our research and you know, speaking to a lot of folks that we know amongst each other, you're doing a lot of positive things, and you know, we appreciate that. So go ahead and tell us a lot bit about what you got going on.
So Battle of the Trenches, that was formed by me and my brother Julius Williams. We actually played together in Jacksonville, and after practice and stuff, we used to just hang out at one of the homies' crib, chop it up, and life after, you know what I mean, kids and giving back was always a topic of discussion, bro. How we gonna fix the hood, bro? How we gonna do that? So when Julius retired, I retired first in 12. He retired in 15. So when he retired and was at home, something happened. I think like 2 or 3 kids had got killed in his neighborhood from some gang activity.
From where, out in Ohio?
In Atlanta, in Georgia, in Decatur, where he from. So he was like, bro. So he called up. He sent out a text message to about 20 of us, and we all met up, talked, chopped it up, and talked about how, what we wanted to do right now, to move forward and give back. And that's when we came up with Battle of the Trenches. And it started out with a lot of guys, and off the rip, it's not something that was given back financially, and a lot of guys were, in their transition mode and all that other stuff. So it kind of ended up dwindling down, guys and their participation and stuff like that, man. So, and it ended up always being me and Julius together. Always at the forefront. And to this day, it's
so
still.
tell us a little bit, like what exactly is
so it's a youth development nonprofit organization. We mentor through sport. It's a 2-hour program. We started out just an after-school program. It was a 2-hour program. The first hour was we would be in a classroom setting, character building. We had a whole curriculum. We would talk about different things, responsibility, accountability, all those good, powerful words and stuff that builds up a good character. We would do that. And then the second hour, we had 3 coaches in the program. And we would all be our own teams, and we would actually take them through just the whole NFL experience. We would take them through a combine, we would draft them to all our different teams. We'd have a full season, and then we'd have a Super Bowl at the end.
That's fine.
And we started out in a math and science charter academy, and then we partnered with the Boys and Girls Club. So then at the end of the season, we had a Super Bowl, this team, Super Bowl, and then we would come together and let them play and have one Super Bowl winner. So that was cool because we was able to do it from 2 different ends of the city. One from Decatur in the trenches, and the other one was from a different part of the city where, it wasn't, everything ain't perfect, but they were more well off than these kids, type deal. So, and so that's what that was, and we still do that till this day. From there,
what areas y'all do it in? Because I know he's from. You said Atlanta.
Yeah,
You're
in
from
Decatur.
Ohio. So where do y'all do it?
In Decatur.
In Decatur.
Because I live in Georgia now.
Oh, okay.
I live in Georgia now. Yeah, I moved down there in 2007.
Okay.
Yeah. Back when one of my teammates, Quinn, he got drafted to the Falcons. So instead of being in cold ass Pittsburgh, I used to fly up here in the off season to train. So, after about a year of that.
You're like, I like that.
Yeah.
I need some warmth.
It's like, let me go on, get in some warm weather. So that's how I ended up, picking Georgia and being in Georgia. But yeah, that's ultimately, man, we branched out. We started coaching, me and Julius, different organizations. Guys we would always end up butting heads with guys because we cool. We ain't them kind of like arrogant dudes to where it's just like, bro, you can't talk to us, dog. It's just, so we always came in and like always, any team we went to, like, bro, look, we ain't them type of dudes. We gonna listen to you. We talk football. If it makes sense, it makes sense. If it don't, bro, it don't. So it would always just come to a point where we would bang heads with the other coaches, and they y'all think y'all know more than us. And well, technically, yes. You know what I mean?
These 2
we ain't like
something.
We ain't like that.
So we was just like, after dealing with that for a couple of years, bro, we was just like, man, screw it, bro. Let's just go and start our own thing. So 2 years ago, we started our own football team, man. And last 2 years, we went to the championship, lost, but to be a first-year program to make it to the championship and to go back-to-back,
Yeah, that's good.
Speaks for itself, So we're going to get back this year and win that thing.
Yeah, you got to.
Bring it home, right? Because, they got that experience now. So now we just got to get that monkey off our back.
Now, my question is, for your organization, what's your goal?
So ultimately what we do is we help kids get into school. We have a traveling big man team, Trench Mob USA, go all over different cities, LA, Ohio, Georgia, Hawaii. It's a 5-on-5 big man traveling team. And from that, we've got guys, scholarships, we put guys in school And then also we partner with Honcho Elite, and we do the 7-on-7 and stuff with them. So we partner with a few good people, man, and just try to get these boys as much exposure as we can get.
What age group do you guys start?
We do 6 and up.
Okay.
So, and how can like somebody be a part, like be a part of it, like register?
If you go to battleofthetrenches.com,
tell them right there.
Battleofthetrenches.com, and all of our information is up there, from the Little League teams, the traveling teams, to everything about us is on that site. Yeah, you can find it on that site.
Right. So, what else do you got going on besides the Battle of the Trenches? I know you're right. I mentioned being a health conscious person, right? Yeah. Is that something that you've always been cognizant of, or is it something that you just kind of started to get into later on?
I've always been aware of it, but with the information, you know what I'm saying, that was being presented out there now, and knowing everything that they doing, like before, one, they wasn't doing it, putting all the shit in the food that they do now. And then 2 is just, I ain't know back then. You know what I mean? But now that I know, just living a different lifestyle, you know what I mean? Got different information, and just live according to that, bro.
Do you like push that down on your son also, like dining?
Yeah, I do. I try to let him be his own young man too at the same time, but I let him know like what's going on.
Try to educate him on the way.
Yeah, like, bro, these the decisions you're gonna make. These is the consequences behind it. This is what you got to deal with. So I definitely, and even with sports, I try not to force him into anything because of that burn. I know personally the burnout phase at every little league, high school, college, pro. It's a burnout phase. Like everybody hit it, and you just we gonna keep going or we turn when we done with it. So after you face that, man, you just keep going up through the levels. But I tried not to force him into anything, so he wasn't getting burnt out too early and not want.
He played football, or
he played football.
He on the team?
Yeah, he on the team. He play quarterback, running back, wide receiver, DB. So all our skill guys.
So he was playing everything on the field, huh?
I was a pretty good athlete, man. So I prayed all of it, and he was he blessed, and he got it, and it's just
Does he or any of the kids that you mentor, do they ever have like or feel pressure because of like the accolades of you reaching your success?
No, I think it's more maybe for my son, but for the other kid, it's more so of a motivation. Like my coach made it. I can do it then. You know what I'm saying? So right. If we give them that beam of hope, and we built our organization around that. Like all of our coaches now either played D1 ball or been to the league. So we don't,
so I can't be a coach.
We can be a water boy.
We got team dads to help out, you know what I'm saying?
Get the orange license and shit. So we're kind of going to pivot a little bit, right? Talk about coaching, right? Because I think I look at coaches as like an extension of like dads in a sense, right? Because like I had coaches when I played ball, and you spent a good amount of time with them doing very significant things in terms of like sports and brotherhood and things of that nature, right? You have that certain level of respect, and then you know that for the most part they have your best interest at heart, right? They're gonna push you, but it's not to like disrespect you or anything. So always try to make you better, right? And they showcase that. And I think that's for all sports and all sorts of coaching aspects, right? Have you seen BS High?
Nah.
So it's a documentary, right, about a school from Ohio. This guy, Coach Floyd, right? And what he basically did was
This real?
The dude with the fake team?
Yeah.
I seen that. Man, what the hell was you doing? Man? Representing my state like that, man. I don't know what the hell he
So, and I'm looking at, I watched it and I was like, yo, like, it was like wild disrespectful because like, as a coach, like those people put trust in. Like the parents know.
What
like,
did he do?
So all right, so he created a fake school, right?
Watching, so
all right, so give you a quick synopsis because I'm not trying to give him any more buzz because homie's a fucking clown.
The ultimate
But it's
finesse.
worth to watch, especially
it's
got
worth
kids
to
that
watch,
are
right?
sports
Especially
and
as a
stuff
parent
like
who wants
that,
somebody to do kids. So basically, what this cornball did was he was always into sports. He had a brother that ended up going to Ohio State, play ball and stuff like that, and he played, but he obviously probably got a complex. He wasn't good enough to go any further, right? So he was working with a church, and they wanted to like open a school, and so he was like, "Oh, I think what we should do is use sport as an avenue to kind of do that and whatnot, right?" So at first it sounded good, like, "Yo, we can get a sports team, get a school going, and really start making something happen." And what he ended up doing was he's just a finesse. Like he's always like robbing Peter to pay Paul type of shit. Mm-hmm. So you give him $1 here, that dollar goes around and pay you back with the same dollar. But before you know it, you got the dollar. He got the dollar back type of shit. So he created a fake team. He started recruiting people to help him build this team. And all of a sudden, he was renting out like a arena area, and he got a bus full of kids. And everybody else like, "Where the fuck these kids come from, bro? What are you doing?"
And a big part of it, what he did too, he took advantage of kids that were basically like what you're doing, the positive end of it, trying to get them in schools, trying to get them at night, not necessarily drafted, but that's the end goal, but into colleges and so forth. Yeah, but then there was kids that didn't have the resources. They already didn't have the money, so they didn't have they didn't have training and all that stuff.
Let me tell you how it's even more fucked up, right? So these are kids who are supposed to be like of school age and
I hope
shit,
he in
right?
jail. No. I don't wish jail or nobody, but I hope that nigga in jail.
That motherfucker need to be under the jail. So to kind of sum it up, so he created a fake football team, a fake school, right? So he got these people in, got parents bringing their kids from all over the country, like, "Yo, we about to be this elite school," all that kind of stuff. Started playing playing real football and shit.
Like
and they played.
Yeah, they're playing, right? But there's no school, bro. So these kids are supposed to be in school. They're not.
So it was like a AAU type of
it was like
a travel team with no.
It was like an XYZ bullshit team.
Crazy.
So they're playing, right?
He's a finesse.
ESPN, bro.
So there's this.
They had their games on ESPN.
No, let me tell you. So there's this one big school, right, in Ohio, right, called IMG. It's basically like a sports school. Like their main focus is to get like the best of the best athletes, help them develop, get them into colleges, get them into the league, right? But they also educate the kids, like they actually learn and go to school, right?
So where was these kids going to school?
Nowhere is what I'm telling you, bro. This is what he was doing. He was wow. He would go to a hotel.
How? No,
bro, they didn't have
no parents too, because how I'm sending you? Where am I sending you every day?
But they're not there, so how did they know?
So as far as he went to the parents and spoke to them like this is what we're gonna be doing. They're gonna be in 3-course meals and so forth and everything.
So they was eating like hamburger helper bullshit. He would go to a hotel and be like, "Yo, put in the kid like, yo, we go to the hotel. Steve, yo, it's in Steve's name. Steve is 14 years old. Just live in this hotel for 2 months before they get kicked out of the gate. They got kicked out mad times. Leave the place. The bill on your credit when you get to the older. Nobody's paying for none of this shit, right? So he somehow he finessed and he got to play this. Like I said, this school is like the top tier school. Like if you send your kid here, your kid is.
He's going.
Ain't no bum players in this school, bro. This like I said, this is high school shit. So they end up being able to, he ended up finesse and being able to get a game with ESPN against these folks. Mind you, now he got people on there of questionable age. They got guys on this team who probably be like 19, 20, playing like some 50, 60-year-olds.
Auntie Monet.
Let me tell you, bro, working on some Zeke shit. So they go on fucking national TV and they get their asses whooped. Like master whooped.
Nah, like bad.
Like
kind of like the point of the Giants.
Oh, yeah, you gotta relax. Yo, you gotta relax. They got too much. They got that ass whooped. But at least they was able to physically play. They was whooping these kids' ass. Like they didn't have no coach, no trainers. Like one kid, mom was a trainer. The kid towards his Achilles heel, and the mom was like, "Well, that look crazy." Like, what the fuck? So everybody on TV is looking like, yo, we gotta stop it. You be like, you know, I got a boxing match that they gotta throw the towel in. They're like, you should throw the towel in, bro. They was getting demolished. So they finally realized, like, yo, this like, all right, who is this guy? What's going on? They finally come to realize, like, investigating, like, yo, this is not a real school. These kids don't go to school. They're not eligible. Mm-hmm. So now these kids who are actually, some of them are good athletes, they're trying to go and like try to get to like scholarships and shit. One kid I felt bad, the quarterback, he ended up getting a scholarship, and they was like, well, you're ineligible, bro. You don't go to school. Like, you have no grade. There's no transcript to you. Who are you?
That's crazy.
And then he ended up getting, some other shit on the back end where he was supposed to go to an HBCU. He was supposed to go to Grambling. Got an offer letter, signed the
Call
intent.
and everything, committed.
He's hyped. Like, yo, I got a second chance. They call him up. They're like, see, what had happened was you did not go to school. You're ineligible to play. We can't let you play, bro. So
he broke a lot of.
He violated because a lot of these kids, honestly, if they was in the right program, they were made into like D1 program scholarships, all type of shit. So bringing it back to the question, like these kids trusted him. They was like, yo, like my coach believed in me, and he a smooth talker, and it was just bad to see. Like,
bro just didn't care. He knew he was a liar. He was full aware what he was doing. Just didn't care.
What's the line that he said? He's the most honest liar.
Yeah, he's like the most honest liar.
Yeah,
it was sad watching it because I'm looking like I've had coaches who like if you ain't eat something, they like you give you $1, make sure you eat, give you a ride home, it's late, it's cold or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they really cared about you type of shit. And he legit didn't give a fuck about none of these kids, bro. Yeah. And as coaches, as parents, you send your kids out to play sports and you can trust these coaches and shit. You know what I'm saying?
He took advantage of a lot of those kids. A lot of them didn't have fathers. He definitely took it, and it was single moms doing this. Even I was watching it.
That's why fathers are important.
And I was watching, I was saying to myself, I was just like, I guarantee, like, if any one of us in a situation, I'm sure even yourself, something look a little fishy as a father, we had to talk. Mom don't even know. She just know the kid like to play football.
This is during the pandemic. He had kids signing up PPP loans.
Crazy.
So one kid,
bullshit didn't stop.
So one kid called his pops like, yo, I need my social out of that. He's like, for what? He's like, yeah, he making me sign. He said, what? He said, tear that shit up. Right? He's like, he's like, yo, he tore it up.
With the father.
Homeboy took the paperwork, I guess, pieced it back together. Now homeboy got like bill collectors calling him for like 30 bands and shit, like wild disrespectful, right? So now as like a coach, as somebody who does coach, right, has been coached at the highest levels, right? How do you guys protect these kids from like the monsters that are out there? Because now, we got the NIL situation going on where kids can get paid for their likeness and shit like that. There's going to be nothing but more hooligans and assholes out there trying to prey on these kids. No. What's some words of advice or encouragement or things that you can give to the coaches out there, the parents, the players, just some advice on that?
Try to do research and get with people who've done it. We do it, like you said, and everybody ain't out there trying to do it for the right way and the right reasons. We definitely do it for the right reason. We have nothing to gain from it other than the joy of seeing you make it. That's our repay. That's our big payback that we get and want to see. And we know ultimately that everybody ain't gonna make it to the league. So that's why our main thing in our program is character. Mm-hmm. Like, you're gonna lose everything, how fast you run, how you jump, all that shit, but you ain't gonna lose your character. As long as, and with me, I take my work ethic of what it took me to get to the league, and I just apply that to everything I do. So I'm like, if I apply this same work ethic to anything that I do, I shouldn't fall short from where I landed over here. So that's the mindset that I have and we take with the kids. It's a lot of trash out there, bro. It's a lot of trash out there, man. And it's...
When you say trash, you mean like people trying to take advantage of them?
Yeah, it's just hard to, like I just said, man, just try to get with the people that have done it. You know what I mean? Who made it to that level and aren't in it for themselves. Like other people who ain't, they got shit to gain from it. Oh, I did this and want to boost their name up and stuff. But at the end of the day, it's all about the kids for us. You know what I mean? And seeing them succeed. And that's why everything we name and label in our organization is elite exposure. You know what I'm saying? Trying to give these kids the best exposure that they can have at the end of the day. But yeah, just do your research, man, and get with the people that have done it.
How was it for you though, like at that age, like let's say your son age coming up with the football practicing and getting into the into little league and stuff like that? We had the old school OG coaches, the old school fathers, the head figures.
you didn't have back then. You didn't have many young coaches like you do now.
Yeah.
Like back then, it was they 30. All the coaches 30 and up.
Back then, the coach's name was like Elroy and shit.
Yeah, right. It's all real OGs. So now, it's a lot of us coming back and coaching and giving back to the game because of we seeing all the trash and bullshit that's out here. So a lot of us are taking it upon ourselves and taking on that responsibility of, all right, bro, let me pass on the right knowledge to help you get to where you trying to go.
And I think that's extremely beneficial, right? Because it's closing sort of the age gap from the coaches and the players, and it makes it like things are more relatable. Because like back in the day, like my coaches was still like using like a black book to try to find people phone numbers to call your parents and shit. You know what I'm saying? Things is a little different, but now everything is in your face, hypersensitive, but our generation can relate to those kids because like we grew up when the internet was created and all of this kind of stuff. So I think that folks like yourself, the things that we kind of do here to give back to the community, it helps because it makes it more relatable to the other parents that are out there, the teachers, the coaches. So we'll kind of all be on the same page about like where life is right now. Like versus you got a 17-year-old and your coach is 65. It's like, things are just different now. Kids are bigger, faster, stronger, and all of these things are way different. You got 14-year-olds who's damn near 300 pounds, benching 500 and shit. It's like
the respect level is different now, so you definitely have to be able to show these kids. Otherwise, they're gonna be like, bro, I ain't really hearing that. You know what I'm saying? So being able to get out there and actually physically show them definitely gives another respect. You know what I'm saying, to the coach. Definitely, I know when I'm out there doing it.
All right, so now we're about to have some fun with the show, right? So now we're gonna get into some couple of segments that we got going on, right? So Steve likes to play this game, right? It's called Who Did It First? Mom, or dad? So we're gonna ask some questions, and it'll basically be like, who was the first one to do it with their kid, mom or dad? Steve, take it away.
All right. Who did it first? Mom did, dad did? So I just want you to answer mom did or dad did. You can go into a little bit if you got a little backstory, but we don't want to take too long,
I guess.
All right, so the first one is who taught your son how to ride a bike? Mom did or dad did?
Dad did.
Dad did. That's dope. All right, who took your son to get his first haircut? Mom did, dad did?
Dad did.
Who taught your son how to tie his sneakers?
Dad did.
Well, that's what's up. Who taught your son how to throw his first football? I hope Mom did.
Definitely did.
Who taught your son the importance of hygiene? Start brushing his teeth, wearing deodorant. Your son at that age now where these kids gotta wear deodorant.
I give his mama that one.
All right, Mom did.
Mom did that.
All right, who taught your son how to use a potty growing up?
Dad did.
That's dope.
Dad did.
Who got your son his first cool sneaker?
I was very active. Cool sneakers, Mom did.
All right. Who taught your son how to make his first meal, whether some breakfast, some pancakes?
Mom did.
Mom did, all right. Who took your son to his first movie?
Mom did, probably.
All right. Who gave your son his first allowance?
Dad.
All right, that's it.
Yeah.
That was the last question.
Little bucket. Yeah, that's it. Okay, that's cool.
That was good. That's what's up, man.
You like 9 out of 10.
Like you said, like active fathers, like we understand sometimes like you might have a dad who has to work, things like that, and kind of like what you mentioned before, like if you was like in the league during the season, you might not have been able to do a lot of those same sort of things. So it definitely regardless of how it shaped out, it worked out.
Man,
that was good.
I ain't mad at all. Cause like you said, that's the biggest thing I take from it. Is knowing how I was, and I'm a on the go kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
So that after I retired and got to sit down a little bit, it helped me. You know what I'm saying, with being able to instill that time, and put that time into him. Man, I wasn't tripping at all. Cause that's what I wanted to do anyway.
When you retired, how old were you?
28, I think.
You retired at 28.
Yeah, I think I
started working at 28.
That's funny.
I think the life of an athlete, I think it accelerates. Well, you let me know how it is. Does it accelerate like your growth because like you're exposed to like so much things that I guess regular folks don't see on a daily basis? So now, like retiring at 28, like somebody's still trying to get their first job, you know?
Yeah, no, it definitely exposes you to a lot, bro. it definitely gives you exposure to a lot of stuff that you normally, like you said, it just speeds up the process. You know what I mean? It just gives you access to pretty much down there everything. So.
But you being on Pittsburgh, I know you say you had a lot of OGs over there. I guess, I mean, better word is just kept you in line, you would say more so? Like you wasn't venturing off like in some cases, you know, especially here today with some of them venture off. I guess having certain teammates that was kind of like that OG that just kept you.
Yeah,
like,
man, accountability, bro, is one thing that just, like, all of them are, you got to be accountable. We all grown, you just got to be accountable, period. But, like, over there, it's a
different kind of level.
Yeah, it's a standard, bro, like, standard of excellence, you know what I mean? So, and that's why they got them in Green Bay so many damn championships, because of the standard that those two organizations have is definitely high, bro. So you definitely built from a certain kind of cloth. They do look for certain type of people in different organizations. And that's what I was saying earlier. Like, it may not necessarily be what you can do, like necessarily always on and off the field. There's characters involved too, because Green Bay and Pittsburgh are similar organizations, but they look for two different type of people. You know what I mean? Like Pittsburgh, they looking for them gunners. But Green Bay would be more of the good suburban kids that play ball. You know what I'm saying? Pittsburgh one of the more than the hood and the city kids playing ball. You know what I'm saying? But they're both successful.
That's good. You get to experience both.
Yep. And seeing how all of those organizations operate, bro. It definitely plays a big part.
And you say character, I hear you say character many times, especially now even with the young ones that you coaching. So then that's something that carried on, I guess, that always stuck with you throughout your career to that.
Sure. Yeah, man. It's the one thing that's gonna get you through everything. You know what I mean? Good, bad, up, down. I mean, who you are, that's why I was telling 10 when I went to JFK yesterday. I'm like, bro, I'm the same dude whether I got $100 million in the bank or if I ain't got $0 in the bank. I'm the same guy. My character is gonna remain the same. So that's what
Not
we
a lot
try
of
to
people
preach.
like that though.
Some people got a whole lot less.
Like they say, like, money reveals character on a lot of people. A lot of people change up, and something happened. Their pocket just low. They come back all humble, tail between their legs, and shit. Like,
it magnifies who you are. You know what I mean?
So when you say character, like, so for the kid, like the kids you coaching, is there some type of like not like, I guess whatever the standard is like almost like written out? Like what are these things?
Yeah, it's through our curriculum, you know what I'm saying? The words, the respect, accountability, the standard, you know what I'm saying? All that shit we preach and show them. You know what I mean? Like when we doing the drill, this is the standard of how I want to see you run. We can get out there and show them versus just yelling and da-da-da-da. I can show you a burst. This is what I want to see.
Show you better, I tell you.
You know what I mean? So that's the blessing that we get to show them how to be. You know what I mean? That standard right there.
Dope.
Yep.
That's good. You're still young. You can still get out there and run with them and shit. Like,
yeah, man. I try to stay active. I try to stay. You know what I mean?
Pull one of those. Back in my day when I was, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's me now.
I'm gonna line up with it. You know what I mean?
is there any of them kids that give you a little run for your money now?
Like it's high school kids that are good, but I'm at that Master Yoda phase. You know what I mean? I know how to defend speed. You know what I mean? I know how to position. I know how to cut off. I know how to do different tricks to slow you down. So, yeah, but it's definitely some guys that's going out there. Like some young boys you'd be like, all right,
I'm gonna make these kicks up real quick. Show you, young fella.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna get into another game real quick, right? So it's called Sire's Rapid Fire Questions. So he's gonna ask you questions, and don't think, you just gotta answer the questions.
All right, so we're gonna start off with the first question. What was your biggest fear before having a child?
Biggest fear?
Yeah.
Being a bad father.
So how you define a bad father?
For me, it was just not being there. I just always wanted to be there. You know what I mean? So, however that, just always showing up. always being able to answer that call and just be there for the kid.
Now, next question is, what type of father you thought you would be before having a child versus how you is now after having a child?
I thought I was going to be a good father because I moved with my uncle when I was 13. He was a military background. He was a general manager at Packard. So I got that father figure instilled in me, and then my dad, my years with him, I got a little bit of both of them in me. So it's a combination of both of their characters in me. And my bad, I didn't mean to pause because my uncle, he's a, I didn't understand it at the time, why he was being like hard on me, because I came from, he lived in the suburbs and I lived in the hood. He was trying to break me of things that, in a way that I'm like, I'm conscious. Like, I was conscious at a very early age. I'm like, damn, you ain't got to do this. Is just my homeboys. I know that we're in the hood and all this other stuff, but I ain't finna be out here doing nothing crazy. Yeah. He don't want to hang with me. Like,
he was like, Uncle
yeah,
Phil.
he don't want. Nah, he ain't going over there at all. I'm like, bro. I ain't. So, but as I grew older, I understood what he was trying to do and the principles he was trying to instill in me and all that other stuff, man. So, I'm just appreciative of having those two type of father figures in my life, and that allowed me to instill what I instilled in my son. Like, I knew I seen this and I seen this, so I just took what I didn't want from both of them and what I did want from both situations, and was like, all right, I'm gonna apply this to my fatherhood. So, shit, I think I'm a great father. I can. Probably we can all do better at things, but as a base and a structure and what I give them as a whole, just character, just being a good man, dog, is what you're gonna be at the end of the day. That part I think I'm good at.
All right, so next question is, what's your proudest dad moment?
Proudest dad moment. His first big hit. Like when he laid into somebody, like I'm like, all right, you got it.
Get money. Yeah. That's my boy.
Yeah, you got.
Sorry, mom over there, but yeah.
I know what's what I got. You know what I'm saying? That you always want to see, because we didn't seen the next generations come up. I played against Walter Payton Jr. at Miami. I seen that. I know what that do. So I'm like, okay. Sometimes the kids don't always be as great as the parent, but I'm like, okay, well, as long as he got a little bit in, he gonna be that dog in him. So he got that little bit, so that was my proudest moment right there.
All right. Yeah. All right, so last question right here. What's your weakest moment as being a father?
My weakest moment. My weakest moment as a father would probably be to not have answers. And I know we don't have answers to it all, because we, all still learning, but to be a leader, you know what I'm saying, and to not be able to answer something, you know what I'm saying, that can ultimately deter whether they can go left or right. It's something that I try to
open a little bit.
Yeah, man, and I try to give them just the best advice and wisdom that I can give them, and that I would.
So how you go about trying to fix that to make that a strength?
Just learn, bro. It's a learning process. You know what I mean? There's really no way to fix that but to learn. You know what I mean? We all go through and have different experiences and stuff like that. So there's a trillion situations where we can sit here and talk about and go through that may or may never happen. But it's just about dealing with the experiences that do come to us and do come for us to help us grow. Because we all got different experiences that's going to help us grow individually that happen to us. Dope.
Oh yeah.
All right, so before we wrap up the show, one of the things that we do on every episode at the end of the show is we give a dad and tip of the week. So it could be something about yourself, it could be something that you read, it could just be something to inspire, it could be something you just learned off TikTok, who knows, or whatever, right? So I guess I'll kick it off.
You want to go around?
Yeah, we can do that. We go around and then we that way you can end it with you. My dad and tip of the week is to slow down. And I think with everything, like when you're having a conversation with somebody, slow down, right? Listen to what they're saying. Make sure that you're answering what it is that they're asking you. When you're at work, you know, sometimes you get pulled in different directions and you're going kind of crazy. Like, damn, like, take a second, breathe, slow down. When the kids are doing stuff, you know, the kid wants juice and he wants you to do this and he wants this and he's like, God, just slow down, because it never benefits you to get aggravated and overwhelmed. It's just not beneficial. So it's been learning to just take a second, slow down, see what's going on, and just take things at, you know, one thing at a time.
Yeah,
all right, cool. I like that. So my tip is a phrase. So it's really to the woman, right? So my phrase to woman is, don't have kids by a man that's afraid to dance with your kids. So that in that aspect of like, men should be vulnerable with their kids no matter what it is. So if you're a man or the father, you're not vulnerable enough to dance with your own child or do things to make your kid happy, then as a woman, why would you even want to have kids with a guy like that? In a sense, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because it's like this. You're a father. You should be hands on and want to do any of this stuff with your kid, stuff like that. Right. So I think like for women, that's like a red flag that they could pick up on. Like, this person is not. I don't know if he in it for the long game type of thing. I only say that because I know a couple people that they do nothing with their kids. Like they not act like they there, but they not there. Right. You know what I'm saying? They in the same house on everything, but they just doesn't do any. Like it's just they don't even talk to the kids sometimes. And it's like that's because you physically hate on me. You a good father. You know. So like just be conscious of things like that. Just get to know people more better and just understand what type of person that, because stuff like that, you pick on somebody quick.
Mm-hmm. So no doubt about it. That's a good one, man.
Brother Styles.
I'll say not necessarily what's the word we call it, tip, but it's just more, I guess you say it's have patience, especially when it comes to, and really with anybody nowadays, especially like we said, things go so fast paced. We fail to realize, and I'll say more so with our children, that you already went through it. It's a first time for them. And I don't care if it's from potty training up to them getting their first car driving or whatever like that. It's new. You did it. You did but remember you in that moment before you did that. We tend to get kids and become adults and forget what it is to be children. And the first thing you forget is to have patience, because even kids don't have patience, but they don't understand the concept of it. But we adults, so we should be able to reflect that the other way. So, even like I said, like while my oldest son is learning to drive, like I had to learn that in a moment of time. I'm watching him, and I'm like,
scared as shit.
But I'm scared. But at the same time, but at the same time, I'm like, he never drove before, but I'm like, just put your foot on, but it don't work like that. Like, I had to take a step back to understand, like, look at it in his eyes. But that doesn't always apply with your kids, it also apply with life sometimes. Like, with even Steve, I'm asking Steve to help me with something, he never did it before. You have to have patience at that moment, that he's not seeing it the way you're seeing it in that moment in time. So that's my dad and tip of the week.
That's nice.
Word.
All right. My dad and message of the week. Just by listening to the story about the BS high, it's for the parents to do your research. Don't just go out there and just fall into something because it sounds good. The internet right now is the best tool in the world. Like, you can find any and everything on the internet. You can do a deep dive on anything and find any information that growing up, I mean, and I'm not that old, but like the internet just started when I was growing up. So I know my parents didn't have the internet. They don't even use the internet now. But like, they don't know what the internet is. They just know it's on their phone. But do your research. Don't just do it because you heard so-and-so did it and it's working out for so and so. Because at the end of the day, you never know what the outcome is going to be, and then they could lose everything just by not doing your research.
Misinformed.
Yes, and just being misinformed, do your due diligence, and just go out there and get the information, not just fall right into it.
Because every situation ain't the right situation for everybody.
Right.
Yep.
Now,
My tip, be great. Be great. How you do anything is how you do everything. I mean, how you do anything is how you do everything. So I instilled in our kids, take out the trash great. If you can take out the trash great, make your bed great, brush your teeth great, do all your chores great, what's playing the sport great? You know what I'm saying? It's just a standard that having that standard instilled in you of just being great and doing everything at a high standard, man, because mediocrity ain't good. You know what I mean? So just be great, man, and just be mindful how you do it.
I've been saying that in my head. I was just saying.
That's fire. Be great.
Don't send your kids to no BS high. And
Right.
it's funny, your name is called BSI.
that was fucking, it wrote itself, man. That's fucking crazy. So we're gonna wrap up the show, right? Before we do that, a couple of quick tidbits. My brother, Saya, happy birthday, bro. Appreciate it, man.
Time this shit showing, man.
It's
Don't pass.
And we appreciate you showing up. You know, last year we tried to make this happen. Life happens, but you know, things happen for a reason, and we're here now. Happy early birthday to you, my brother.
Appreciate it.
Go ahead, look at the camera, let everybody know where they can find you.
Battle of the Trenches. Y'all can find us social media, IG, and on the internet, battleofthetrenches.com.
Yep, we have that in our bio as well. You already know where to find us like we normally do. Welcome to season 3. Appreciate y'all being here. I'll let y'all next time. Peace out, y'all.
Out of here.